Hello everybody, this is Pooka and welcome to another game I played on the Pokemon Trading Card Game Online. This one was actually from my live stream from Bad Deck Monday, and it was a pretty exciting game. So I figured I'd go ahead and post this one. And we'll take a look at an interesting game with an interesting deck that may not be as bad as I first thought, but it's certainly not the most competitive deck in the world. This deck is going to revolve around Kingdra and Empoleon. So people have been asking me to play a Kingdra deck for a really long time. Finally getting around to it, and we'll see what happens here. Now we're going up against, looks like a Team Plasma deck. We see that Snorlax. Snorlax has become a lot more popular lately, now that Pokemon Catcher has been nerfed to the coin flip. Snorlax's ability Block has become very effective because a lot of people would just catch her to get rid of it, and then they would go ahead and, just retreat, or they would knock out something else, and switch for some reason. Well, when Catcher gets nerfed, people play less switch as well. So Block from Snorlax has become very powerful, especially because a lot of people just use Float Stone to give free retreat. But Snorlax prevents you from retreating. So it's become a lot more popular. Plus, Team Pact is a very good attack if you can manage to power it up. The only problem is Snorlax is a giganto attack cost. Now, it only does give up one prize, though, which is probably the main reason why it's been used more often, especially in these Lugia decks. It's a deck that's won a lot of cities. It's very powerful. Lugia EX has the Overflow ability. Allows you to take an additional prize when you take a knockout with Plasma Gale. So, this has become a very scary deck. But it's probably winning due to the fact that a lot of people have stopped running cards like Enhanced Hammer and Silver Mirror and Driftblim. Cards that really were popular during regional championships because Team Plasma decks were so popular. But now everyone thinks that Team Plasma decks should just die out. So, now Plasma decks make a comeback, and we'll see what happens from here. Sorry, this is a very long-winded explanation. Alright, so we're going to get a pretty nice start here. Turn 2, a Prinplup, and then looks like an Empoleon as well. I'm going to go ahead with an Ultra Ball. We can go ahead and... I'm actually going to get rid of the Switch and the Juniper. I'm actually not going to get the Empoleon. We're going to go for a Kingdra, Lugia scares me a lot, because Plasma Gale, all that has to do is attack 3 times and I lose. 2 prizes 3 times, and the game is over. So I'm thinking, alright, I need to start softening that thing up. Let's use Tri-Bullet. Does 30 to 3 Pokemon. So we'll go ahead and hit the most likely attackers, which are going to be Lugia, Thundurus, and Snorlax, to maybe soften them up for later. Because we can't really do 180 in one shot. Now later in the game, this is the whole strategy of my deck. We're trying to get tons and tons of energy into the discard pile to use Kingdra's Dragon Vortex. It does 20 damage for each water and lightning energy in your discard pile, then you shuffle them in. So you can hit pretty much anything for a knockout at the end of a game. We use Empoleon's Diving Draw to discard those energy. But early on in the game, it's not going to do very much. And we can see Lugia takes me down, and there's 2 prizes right away. So again, this is not looking good. And I have a decision to make here. I can Skyla, get an Ultra Ball, get an Empoleon in play. Or I can N and just hope to draw into an Empoleon or an Ultra Ball. Now I'm thinking if I play the Skyla, I'm going to have to Ultra Ball away 2 cards, and then there's no guarantee I'll have a follow-up next turn. So I'm just going to go ahead and play the N, put my opponent down to 4 cards, and I was fortunate enough to draw the Empoleon. In fact, I get cards to get a second one into play, which is really sweet. Because we can go ahead and grab Empoleon number 2, or I can go for another Kingdra. This is a weird decision. I think I'm going to go for another Empoleon here, since Diving Draw is pretty useful. And alright, there we go. And we can just attack command twice to take care of Lugia And there is an attack command for 100. My strategy was going to be try bullet twice, hit Lugia up to 60 damage, and then with both players' benches full, an attack command could do 120 and knock him out. But he had to switch that turn and the DCE to Plasma Gale, so that plan went out the window. So the 30 damage from Kingdra's try bullet really didn't do anything. And now we're here in this situation, not looking too pretty. And there's another Plasma Gale. You can see, what is it, the third turn? I'm already down 4 prizes. Ouch. We'll see. I can knock out the Lugia. I have to take 20 from the Frozen City, though. That's very painful. We can go ahead and rare candy into Kingdra. We've been pretty fortunate with our rare candy into good Pokemon. So let's see. We also have Thundurus. We don't see that very often. This card got reprinted. But I use Thundurus to charge to get more energy into play so that it can, fuel Kingdra's Dragon Vortex. That's the idea anyway. So I have to decide what I want to take with this Ultra Ball. I can do a Piplup or a Horsey. I'm trying to decide which one's better. We're going to take a look at what I've gone through so far. Basically, I don't want to have a spot where I have a Piplup on the bench that can just be knocked out by Thundurus' Raiden Knuckle. But I'll go ahead and grab the Piplup anyway, and we'll attack him. And I think I have an Empoleon prized. I didn't quite check that, but we'll see what I get off the 2 prizes. It's not an Empoleon. That's not good. But this is going to be a very big turn right here, I feel. If my opponent can get a third Deoxys EX into play, and then attach, then it's just a Raiden Knuckle, and that knocks out Empoleon. So that is going to be ugly. Right, my opponent will be down to 1 prize, and I'll lose my Empoleon again, and I really don't know what I'm going to do from there. We see the Chorus Machine. If my opponent has any Plasma Energy left at this point, it'll probably go on to Snorlax. And yes, there is one left. Uh-oh. So, like a Raiden Knuckle and then powering up Snorlax, just a team pact, and we see the DCE go on to Snorlax. So this is getting very, very troublesome. Think about it. Next turn, if my opponent just gets another Deoxys and uses Raiden Knuckle to knock out my Empoleon, then I'll have another DC on Snorlax, and that'll be an unpreventable team pact. I won't survive. So this is not looking good, and we'll see what I can do here. I am going to Skyla. I don't really know what to take at this point. This is a very fragile situation, as you can see. So this is the kind of pressure Lugia will put on you, so I have to tread very lightly here and try to figure out some way to stay in this game, because I'm not really sure what I can do at this point. We're going to go ahead and try to figure out something with this Skyla. I don't really know what I want to do. I'm going to grab an N. It seems like my best opportunity to get something done here. We'll take the N, try to disrupt my opponent. We can see we have a lot of supporters left, which is really nice. But I'm probably going to have to switch into Kingdra here and just either try bullet or probably try bullet so I can soften up Snorlax if it comes out. Like Snorlax needs to be any softer. Look at that guy. But yeah, we're going to try bullet, do 30, 30, 30. The big one is the 30 on Snorlax. So if Snorlax comes out, then I can use Empoleon to attack command and knock it out if we have enough Pokemon in play. Right, so there's 5 out there. I'm going to need 5 in play. I just need to do 100 damage to finish off the Snorlax. So this is the strategy at this point. It may not be a very good one, but it's the best we can do to survive. So in these kind of situations, you just got to be as resourceful as you can. And we're going to have an Ultra Ball. Please let there be a Pokemon left. And yes, there is a Horsey left in the deck. So we're going to go ahead and get that Horsey into play and then end my opponent down to a single card. We will Diving Draw, discard and draw 2. And I probably should attach an energy somewhere. We could probably put a water onto Horsey or something like that, since I'm going to have to attack with Kingdra at some point to win. There's no other way for me to really win. And here's an attack command for 100, knocking out the Snorlax, so that 30 damage was perfect. I think I had an Empoleon prize, still not seeing that. Oh no, a bicycle for 4. If my opponent has a Deoxys and then some way to use Raid Knuckle, this game will be all but over. That is not good. We see the third Deoxys come down, but oh, my opponent's going to switch into it and pass. Did not expect that. Alright, so now we have a little bit of hope here. What exactly can we do, though? I can probably diving draw, get something going. I have a lot of energy in my discard pile for Dragon Vortex. I don't think I can leave Empoleon active at this point. If I do, it's just a simple Raid Knuckle and the game is over. So I don't want to have that happen. We have 4 cards left, but we don't have to worry about decking out because of Dragon Vortex. So this is just becoming a decision here. What do we want to do? Opponent has 8 cards left. I don't think I'm going to deck him out. He's probably got a switch or a float stone left. So I'm going to play the Skyla, and I'm out of rare candy, but I do have that dowsing machine, so we can get a final rare candy. Go ahead and attach to Empoleon so we can retreat it. And then dowsing machine for the rare candy. We'll get rid of a chorus and a juniper. I'm not sure why I did that. I probably just should have gotten rid of the N, but maybe I could disrupt my opponent. Who knows? And then we can Dragon Vortex for 220 damage. And we're tied at 1 prize apiece. Unfortunately, I did kind of blow all my resources right there. Like that's my one shot I get. You know, this is what this deck does. It kind of builds up to one big Dragon Vortex and gives Empoleon a final oomph that it doesn't get by itself, because attack command can be limited, right? The damage is controllable, but I mean, not here. You can't really control how much Dragon Vortex does, because I'm controlling who puts all the energy into the discard pile. All right. So now I get hit by a Raid Knuckle, which means I have 60 left. All right, that means I'm going to have to retreat. I cannot leave Kingdra out there. And, I mean, Frozen City is making this really tough, too. I could retreat. You know, if I get another Empoleon, I could retreat there, but then I don't have any switch left. So my only actual option is going to have to be retreat into Thundurus. You know, he hasn't done much, but here he just happens to have enough HP to survive a Raid Knuckle, which nothing else can really do at this point. Sure, Mr. Mime could, but then I would have to attach to retreat, and when I did that, I'd get knocked out, and holy crap, that is a lot of energy. And we can charge. You can see there's 2 more energy left in the deck as well. We can charge just to take another one out. Oh my goodness. My opponent didn't end me and didn't win. Look at what's going to happen here. I have all those energy in my hand. We can diving draw to get an extra one. And then Juniper. Oh wait, no! I didn't attach! I hope the last card's an energy. Whew. Oh, thank God. That would have been such an embarrassing way to lose. Got so excited to Juniper everything away and didn't attach, but Dragon Vortex for 240 to win the game. How insane is that? And we got dominated this game, but somehow, someway, Kingdra, Thundurus, Empoleon have combined for a very, very unlikely victory with a massive Dragon Vortex, twice knocking out EXs in the last 3 turns of the game for just 1 energy. That was pretty sweet, I gotta say. This probably won't work very often, but this deck is a lot of fun to play. And I mean, that's all there is to it. It's fun. And I like doing big amounts of damage for low amounts of energy. But alright, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'll definitely have some more for you soon. This is Pooka from the Top Cut, and I will see you guys next time.